Hello, everybody. So this is my final video for the Student Activities Conference. Of course, you may be watching it first, so it may not be your final one. Oop, Oh well. So we're going to talk about the UIL Headline Writing Contest for this video. And I went a little crazy in my last session with my sound effects, but we are going to have some sound effects from time to time. So now, without further ado, let's talk about the UIL Headline Writing Contest. It's a really long drum roll. Sorry about that. All right, folks, let's get started here. I wish we were in person doing this, but we're not. So here it is, me talking to myself in a little tiny room. Luckily, I have a background so you can't see how messy my little tiny room is. We're going to talk about headline writing. So the headline writing contests for UIL, you're given a prompt and you get 6 stories and you have 30 minutes to write 6 headlines. You have a particular count parameter that you have to follow for each headline. This contest really is about speed, especially since we took away 15 minutes a couple of years ago. You used to have 45 minutes, and creativity. So you've got to be accurate, you've got to be quick, and you've got to be creative. And I'll be honest with you, when I was in high school, this was not my favorite contest. I struggled in it because of the pressure, high pressure speed. And I was like, oh, I gotta be creative. But some students, especially those who are really quick witted and are really good at puns, would do really well at this contest. So let's talk about this contest. So really what we want is we want your headlines to sell the story. Okay. They've got to say what's going on in the story, and they've got to be good enough to entice readers into the story. They have to be factual. And they need to be accurate. That's super important. If something hasn't happened yet, you can't say that it's already happened in your headline. And that's something that gets students all the time. So you have to make sure that your headlines are completely accurate. We want to be as objective as possible. So we don't want it editorialized. If it's an opinion, that you have to attribute it in your headline, which is tough because you don't always have a lot of space. We want it to be simple but precise. We want the tone to fit the content. So if it's a silly story about a teacher who's a rodeo clown on the weekends, have fun with the headline. But if it's a serious story about a teacher who was in a car accident, then it needs a serious headline. So just make sure that tone fits the story. We generally have 2 types of stories. We have a straight news story, which will usually either have a 1, 2, or 3-line headline, and we'll see examples of that so you can see what I mean. And then we also have feature stories. And for feature stories, we have a main headline where we want you to be creative, and then a secondary headline, which is more of your newsy headline that tells really what's going on in the story. Feature stories, we want to really draw those readers in with our creative main headline. So let's look at an example. Sorry, I gotta take a drink here. My lemonade. Ooh, I should have done a sound effect for that, but I'm not gonna now. The moment has passed. Okay, so here's a straight news story. We need to write a 2-line headline with each line counting 18 to 24. Now, the way we do counts in this contest is every letter in every space counts 1. When I was in high school, I's were a half, space was a half, I think. W's were 1.5. There's a lot of math, which is another reason why I was not stellar at this. So now everything is just 1. A space is 1, a comma is 1, a letter is 1. Makes it a lot easier. So we're charged with writing a 2-line headline with each line counting 18 to 24. So the story is, the special education teachers are encouraging students to wear blue next Tuesday, World Autism Day, to show support for students with autism. This will be the first time the school will observe the day, special education teacher Raina Rodriguez said. It would mean a lot to our students to see a sea of blue on Tuesday. The special education department also will hand out blue ribbons for students and staff on Tuesday morning. We want our students with autism to know they are supported not just by us, but by the entire school, Rodriguez said. Senior Jenny Blackwell said she plans to dress in blue from head to toe. My little brother has autism, she said. This is a great idea to bring awareness and support. My mom even bought me blue hairspray. So that's our news story. We have to write a headline, 2-line headline. So what we need to do to figure out, we have to take the most important information in our headline, okay? So we're going to really focus on the lead when we're talking about a news story. There's our lead. And so if we just basically what we would say is special education teacher encourage students to wear blue for World Autism Day next Tuesday. That's really what's going on in the story, but that's way too long. First line would be 50, second line would be 44, and we're not even following all the headline rules, which we're going to talk about in the beginning. So we don't want to split infinitives. We have to eliminate articles, and we need to summarize and eliminate unnecessary words, because if you go over the count, your headline is eliminated. If you're under the count, your headline is also eliminated. So you've got to be between that 18 to 24. So we've got to figure out a way to get this headline down to 18 to 24. So this is what we did. Teachers ask students to wear blue for autism. It's really simple. It's really short because it is a short headline, but that's a good headline for that story. That's what's going on. It talks about autism. It's got the wearing blue. It's got the teachers and the students in it. It's got a lot in there and just a little bit of a count. Let's look at another story. This is the feature story. This is another type of story that you'll see. It's a one-line main headline counting 10 to 16. That's pretty short, but you don't have to have all of the subject, verb, prepositional phrase, all of that. We want something catchy to bring the reader in. And then a two-line secondary headline with each line counting 18 to 24, same count that we had last time. So let's look at this one. Junior Elijah Ramos is a self-described introvert who is about to have, excuse me, dinging is emails that I'm getting. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn those off. Junior Elijah Ramos is a self-described introvert who's about to have to give a speech to more than 1,000 people. I would rather write than speak, he said. That's what got him into this situation in the first place. Elijah won the Peace Project's National Essay Contest last month, and next week he will fly to Washington, D.C. to present his essay to lawmakers and policymakers. To say I'm nervous is a mild understatement, he said. I am terrified. Elijah wrote his essay in the fall and was notified in March that he'd won and would be expected to speak at the awards ceremony. I was so excited I won until they told me I had to speak, he said. I've tried to get out of it, but the director convinced me that my paper would have a bigger impact if I presented it. So we're going to do that. Let's focus first on the one-line main headline. So what are some keywords? I got to move my face or we lose that S. What are some keywords we could use in the main headline? So some of the words: peace, essay, speech, write, introvert, contest, winner. I even thought terrified, maybe scared. Then how can we make a really cool main headline using one of those? And remember, you can play on words. You can have fun with those. You can be creative with those main headlines. So this is what I came up with. Saying his piece. Notice we spell peace like peace, not war, not like a piece of paper. Saying his piece, Junior to present essay to lawmakers in DC. And that secondary headline, Junior to present essay to lawmakers in DC, is concise. It's the news piece of it. And then saying his piece is kind of cutesy. It's fun. It brings the reader in. So that's what we're looking for in the main headline. That's where you get to be creative, but you got to be quick because you only have 30 minutes. So let's look at some kinds of headlines. Let's look at some examples. Here's a one-line headline. Dr. Seuss, man of rhyme and reason, dies at 87. Two-line headline. Halloween scares up snow across much of the panhandle. See, it's kind of having some fun. Halloween scares up, because it's Halloween. It's scary. Ooh, I think I have. Ooh, I do. Oh, wrong one. That was a zip crash. Here we go. That's for Halloween. I hope you watch this video before Halloween or afterwards and you just kind of like Halloween. That was a really long evil laugh. A three-line headline. Pianist keeps city singers in good tune. And again, it's playing on words. Those are really nice, creative. So a main headline, secondary, a waffle lot of love. We're getting cute. We're getting fun. New club obsesses over breakfast pastry. So it's a story about a waffle club. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples here. Meet and greet. Barbecue expects crowd for freshman orientation. Now see, we played on the word meet and greet because normally it'd be meet and E-E-T, but it's a barbecue, so we put meet. See it? Ha ha ha. Oh, look. Oh yeah, we get it. Ha ha. Jeannie, you are so funny. I'm really getting weird being by myself this long. I'm starting to laugh at my own jokes way too much. Okay, here's another main secondary headline. It's about time. Garden Club grows herbs, plans to sell for fundraiser. Again, play on words with time, because you know that's not really like time, Time. Yeah, just saying. Time, that's time the herb. So, headline tips. This is really why you came. This is the meat of the presentation. Ha, ha. Oh, that's my own sound effect. Be specific as possible in your headline. Okay, so this is not a very good headline. School board discusses items at heated Tuesday meeting. We don't have a lot of specifics in there. Okay, we don't know what they discussed. We don't know why it was heated. So we want to be as specific and as possible. Two board members walk out over budget argument. We know so much more in this headline. Okay, we know that two board members left, and we know why it was. We know it's heated because two board members left, and we know why it was over budget argument. So this is a much better headline than the previous headline, much more specific. Okay, we want to keep the subject and verb on the same line if at all possible. That's hard on those 3 lines, but we really want to try to. We want to keep adjectives and nouns together. So adjectives that describe nouns, we want to keep those together, and we want to also keep infinitives together. So district offers free vaccinations to limit absences. So if you look, district offers, that's our subject verb, free vaccinations, okay? That's the adjective and a noun. To limit, we're going to keep that on one line, okay? We don't want to split that on 2 lines. But it is hard on in a 3-line headline to always do that. So sometimes you do have to split the subject and the verb in a 3-line headline. Doesn't disqualify you, but you probably won't get full credit for the headline. Okay, so this is what happens when you split. Fire gets Fred Astaire. Dance studio 2 injured. Okay, so Fred Astaire's been dead for a while, so it's kind of weird that the fire's gutting him. But so, that's what happens when you have a bad cut. So we want fire guts Fred Astaire dance studio all on one line. Okay, otherwise people are wondering why Fred Astaire was gutted by a fire. We want to avoid a lot of dates, a lot of initials, a lot of acronyms and abbreviations in our headlines. So 2019 MHS FFA helps with annual WCC event. We really have no idea what's going on there, and it's really vague. It's not telling us much. So this is a much better headline. FFA provides animals for cultural club event. Much more specific. We understand what's going on. We're not guessing what those acronyms are. That's what we want to see in a headline. We want to avoid the be verbs, is, and, was, were, have, had, be, being, been, may, might, should, would, could, all of those. Okay. So seniors will prank Friday pep rally, class president says. So to do that future tense, you can use to. Seniors to prank Friday pep rally, class president said. So we want to make sure that we avoid those be verbs. So, and for the future, you can use to instead. And a lot of times what those be verbs are doing is they're making it passive. So we don't want to have passive voice. We want to have active voice. No articles, no an or the. Now in a main headline, you have more wiggle room. You can break a little bit more rules if you're doing a play on words, or I think you'll see some later that do that. And it's your creativity. That's okay there. But in a regular news part of the headline, we don't want those articles. Junior makes the science finals in DC. We don't need the Z, we don't need the C. We do need the C for DC. It's important. We can't just say the finals in D. So we want to take out the Z. I put a little arrow here in case you didn't know what the article was. Junior makes science finals in DC. That's what we want to see. Okay. Use a comma instead of and. Heat wave blisters California and Texas. I read it as and, but it's not there. It's a comma. These are just, and that saves you space, guys. It saves you space. So that's important because you never have enough. We want to avoid cliches in our headlines. Now, sometimes you might play off of a cliche, but you're not going to use just a straight cliche in a main headline, but you may play off of one to make it more creative. But just these straight boring ones, no. We don't want to repeat words in your headline. So pocket lasers banned, authorities ban laser pointers. And I pointed out here that laser is the word, and also ban. We're using banned here and ban there. We don't want to do that. We want to use unique words. Pocket lasers banned, principal cites injury and class disruption. So we learn a whole lot more from that headline. And I have a yippee. I don't have a yippee for a beep beep. I have a beep beep. Maybe that's kind of like a yippee beep beep. Okay, avoid headline ease. Okay, I know all of you text, and you text words that are not words. You shorten everything, and it's kind of like it's blending into your writing. Don't let it blend into your headlines. Okay, B-ball team destroys West in finals. Okay, we don't know if that's basketball. We don't know if that's baseball. I don't know if there's another B sport that it could be, but we got to be specific. Principal to dance at Friday night game. Guys, that's not how you spell night. It's misspelled. It's Night, in case you were wondering. And then senior play to continue through Easter. Again, through is misspelled. So we don't want to use those shortened words. There are some that are becoming more acceptable. Stuco for student council is a very accepted nowadays. And it's very easy to understand what we're talking about, Stuco. It's not easy to understand who we're talking about when we say b-ball. We don't know what sport that is because there's two. We talked about this a little earlier, is that we want to limit the acronyms. UIL students to attend SAC at UTRGV. Okay, a lot of people wouldn't know what all of those things mean, so we want to avoid those. Avoid passive verbs because we want active verbs. Obstacle course was run in record time by senior. Okay, that's passive voice, and we've got that nasty B verb right there, was. So senior sets record on obstacle course. Active voice, much better. We get rid of that be linking verb, and all is well in the world. Woo! Yes, all is well when we use active voice. Okay, do not end a line with a preposition. So we don't want to split a preposition. Baseball team ready for playoff game, coach says. For playoff game should be on one line. Now, here's the thing. If you have 30 seconds left and this fits, it fits in the count, and it's better to have this than nothing, okay? But if you have time to fix it, we really want for playoff game on one line. But here's the thing. Split it if you have to, if you're running out of time and it fits count-wise. Because if you move it to the other line and your counts are off, then your headline is completely disqualified and you may not have done anything. You will get partial credit for this. So if you're down to the wire, go ahead. When separating two sentences in a headline, do so with a semicolon. I am not big on semicolons, but if you have a really long headline and you don't, it doesn't happen very often in our UIL prompts. We just don't give you a whole lot of count. So it's not going to happen very often, but you can use a semicolon. Seniors fill principal's office with frogs. Juniors leave ducks in counselor's area. I don't know why, but that's what happened. Try to avoid semicolons. We really want to try to do one single sentence. So hurricane strikes, school swamped, pep rally canceled. It's really choppy, right? And it's like, so it's much better if we say after hurricane, school cancels Friday pep rally. And that's present tense, so that's nice. The main headline is independent of the secondary headline, okay? So we don't want that main headline blending in and going like raccoons stealing jump drives, hiding them in closet is not okay. That main headline should stand on its own. So bandits busted, that stands on its own. Raccoons hoard stolen jump drives, and our secondary headline stands on its own. It's okay to have alliteration if it's appropriate. These work just fine. New planetary puzzlers causes cosmic confusion. Take me out to the cat show. Annual festival of felines begins today. Festival of felines. It's hard to say. I'm learning that it's hard to speak when I'm all by myself presenting. May be hard to speak all the time for me. I don't know. I'm calling it pandemic brain. You call it whatever you want. We want the headline to reflect the mood of the story. Superman to die, so steal yourself. It's kind of a sad. Okay, so be careful of words, word use. So bears capture playoff berth. This means that there is a bear down there getting ready to capture a new baby. Berth, if you're a playoff berth, it's B-E-R-T-H. And you'll see that from time to time in professional newspapers. They'll misuse a word. So now let's have a little fun. Let's see if we have Um, we're charging into some fun. That was kind of a short one. That was a good one. Okay, so let's look at some headlines that say absolutely nothing at all. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. Ooh, they went out on a limb there, didn't they? Amphibious pitcher makes debut. So I'm guessing he looks like a fish. I don't know. Should be ambidextrous. State population to double by 2040. Babies to blame. Dang those babies. Panda mating fails. Veterinarian takes over. I'm just going to leave that one right there. Mississippi literacy program shows improvement. If you can't figure out what's wrong with that one, I'm not going to help you. Breathing oxygen linked to staying alive. Ooh, I just blew your mind with that one, didn't I? No idea. No idea. Federal agents raid gun shop, find weapons. Oh, wow. I thought they were going to find some gum. Okay, these are awesome. Be sure to eat right before surgery. That'll make your doctor happy when you vomit all over him. Students cook and serve grandparents. Oh, that's so nice if they cooked up their grandparents for dinner. Got a few more of these. Homicide victims rarely talk to police. I wonder why. Plane too close to ground, crash probe told. Oh, yeah, that's why it crashed. It's too close to the ground. Makes sense. Mayor to homeless, go home. That's a really compassionate mayor. If strike isn't settled quickly, it may last a while. Whew, mind blown right there. Blind woman gets new kidney from dad she hasn't seen in years. That one's just tasteless. Auto, but it was in a headline. I mean, it was in a paper. Auto's killing 110 a day. Let's resolve to do better. Come on, autos, you can kill 111. Kicking baby considered to be healthy. Not so nice. Crowd rushing to see Pope tramples 6 to death. So we would want crowd rushing to see Pope tramples 6 to death. Okay. We really don't want anybody trampled to death, but we don't want the Pope trampling him. Police say man hid crack in buttocks. Oh, those are not good. Not good. So a few more rules. Okay, those are bad. Some of those are really bad. Let's do this. Come on, Gina, you can get better. You can get better. A few more rules. We want to avoid contractions, so we don't want to have don't or won't in a headline. Remember, those are using those be verbs, linking verbs. Don't end a headline with a period. I always know when I'm judging if a kid's never practiced headline writing at all, if every headline has a period at the end. First of all, it's a count. We don't want to take up one of your counts with a period. And second of all, we don't do it. Avoid names unless they're easily recognizable, like your principal, you could use their last name, or superintendent. Or if you're writing a main headline for a feature story and you want to play off the person's name, if you could do something fun with that, that's acceptable. If you have quotes in your headline, it's always single quotes, not double. So let's look at a story. Okay, it says your time to work. I got to move my head here. Move my head. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it. So get some paper. Everybody, you can hit pause. Go get a piece of paper, get a pen or a pencil, get a pause, hit pause, pause. Okay, here's our one-line main headline counting 12 to 18 and a one-line secondary headline counting 26 to 32. Students and staff at Friday night spring athletics bonfire got more than they expected. As the band started to play the school fight song, 2 naked males streaked through the crowd wearing only rubber masks. The guys ran right past me, Senior Bella Strong said. I couldn't stop laughing. Not everyone found humor in the incident. Principal Kayla Leone is offering a $500 reward for information on the identity of the 2 males. I don't think they were our students, Leon said. Regardless, they should face consequences for indecent exposure. There were lots of young children there. It was completely inappropriate. The 2 males wore president's masks. One was Donald Trump and one was Bill Clinton. I thought it was hilarious, Senior Ben Stevens said. I know Miss Leone is not happy about it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, so you got to write a one line main headline counting 12 to 18 and a one-line secondary headline. So you want to be creative. You got naked people here. Okay, you got naked dudes running through the crowd. So have fun. Okay, I know the principal's not excited about the streakers, but it's a student newspaper, and it's kind of a silly thing. Although I'm not encouraging any of you to do this. So think about it, hit pause and write your headline. Okay, drum roll. Oh, look, I have a drum roll. Let's see. It's a really long drum roll. I should have done the wolf whistle because it was naked people, but that's probably not appropriate. I forgot I was recording this. Oops. This is a bad thing about me recording. I say things. Okay, so this is what we came up with. Bear sighting. Leon offers reward for streakers. You know, you get it. Bear, B-E-A-R is a but this is bear like, I'm naked sighting. It's a really cute headline that my intern came up with. Wasn't even me. It's a nice headline. And the secondary headline is more serious, and it talks about the reward, and it's good. And we have to have the more serious side to the secondary one for that one. But it's a good headline. Good headline. All right, here's another one. One line main headline counting 12 to 18 and a one line secondary counting 26 to 32. Very similar to the last one, if not exactly the same. Senior Mike Carmagos, I guess that's how I make up these names, yet I cannot pronounce them. Go figure. Senior Mike Carmago's prom proposal got him more than a yes. He got a black eye, concussion, and a trip to the hospital. It didn't go as exactly as I had planned. Mike said, that might be a little understated. Dressed up as a zombie holding a poster saying, even during the zombie apocalypse, I choose you for prom. Mike planned to surprise his girlfriend, Junior Becca Aguilera, at her front door. Unfortunately, Becca didn't recognize him under his makeup and costume and didn't see the sign. My mom does theatrical makeup as a hobby, so she did my face, he said. It was so real. Maybe a little too real for Becca. She thought he was a real zombie and punched him in the face, which sent him flying backwards onto the porch swing. I was scared to death, she said. Mike knows I'm terrified of zombies. Okay, so again, be creative with your main headline. You got your prom proposal, you got zombies, you got a black eye, you got a kid getting punched in the face, you got makeup. You can have some fun with this one. So on your main headline, you want to have fun with it because it's sad that he got a black eye and a concussion, but it's kind of funny, right? Kind of funny. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so hit pause, write your headline. Okay, this is what we came up with. The Knocking Dead. Prom proposal results in black eye. Okay, having some fun with it, like instead of The Walking Dead, The Knocking Dead, because he knocked on her door. Ha 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 ha. Oh, my own sound effects. I don't even need these sound effects. I can do all my own. What was I thinking? So, guys, those were just two examples. A regular prompt is going to have 6 stories, 6 headlines. I encourage you to practice. Get you a prompt, set your timer, get the headline answer sheet so that you don't have to count them out. Makes it easier to do. And then go practice. If you have questions, email me. If we were in person, I would be there. And I'm so sad that I'm not. And you could ask me your questions. So if you watch this whole video and gosh, it was exciting for you. I know you're like, oh my gosh, I just need more videos of Jeannie. If you have questions after watching this video, not about my sanity. I don't know if that's gonna continue. I don't know, but I can try to answer questions about this contest or any of the UIL contests. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you coming. Y'all have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, weekend, whenever you happen to watch this. Hopefully we will see you soon in person, live. Bye, guys.